Galaxy Runner. In a very distant future, in the vast and enormous Andromeda Galaxy, there will be a space tournament among planets called Galaxy Runner. This competition was created to establish leadership among all planets every 4 years and is highly anticipated by all civilizations. Each planet is represented by a participant who, upon becoming the champion and winner of the race, not only gains many privileges but also brings victory to their planet, bringing much wealth and power through commercial leadership, technological resources, and great prosperity to space development and exploration. The Galaxy Runner race, besides being highly anticipated by all beings from each planet in the galaxy, generated many bets and offered great rewards to the pilots who dreamed of becoming celebrities with fame and rich assets. The prizes for the winner include new and sophisticated ships with cutting-edge technology, as well as living for the next few years in comfort in a palace at their disposal with total access to a luxurious life. Among the competitors was the young Newman, an apprentice who had just started piloting his spaceship and dreamed of bringing victory to his planet Kepler. He dreamed of winning in order to bring his family, who were still on planet Earth, which was very distant, and only with great wealth could he obtain technology through powerful and technological spaceships as prizes, in case he became the Galaxy Runner champion, to cross the galaxy and return light years away quickly. Newman, as the representative of the planet Kepler, had the courage to sign up and won an internal race first. Although he was not experienced as a race pilot, he was not afraid. Besides wanting to bring prosperity to all his people on Kepler, he also hoped to fulfill his long-awaited dream of seeing his family again. But one detail worried him. The Galaxy Runner organization informed that a secret rule would be announced only a few minutes before the competition started. Newman was worried but at the same time hopeful. His intention was to win, and he always believed in it. On the final day of the competition, after announcing all the participants, the Galaxy Runner organization informed about the secret rule. Before the start, the audio was transmitted, and all the competitors and the audience present could hear it clearly. Galaxy Runner informs the public and the pilots representing their respective planets that there will be exceptionally a new rule, which has not been revealed until now for this competition. The winner will be the pilot who crosses the finish line after 300 laps in the desert, but the representatives may use any methods to win the race, from eliminating their opponent with weapons or fighting for survival using any destructive method. Upon hearing this terrible rule a few minutes before the race started, Newman became worried because he knew this could result in his death. Furthermore, he had never been involved in any atrocities or violence. He was a human who always sought peace and fought for his achievements in the right way. Newman did not have time to devise any strategy. The countdown began and the race started. While the spaceships fiercely raced through the desert circuit, the race unfolded rapidly among rocks and mountains, tunnels and narrow spaces, and wide fields. The speed varied on land and in the air, where experienced pilots ended up far ahead, leaving Newman in last place. Terrified but with a strong desire to win, he began to see his opponents being disqualified. This gave him a strategy to follow in the competition and try to win the Galaxy Runner. Gradually, throughout each of the 300 laps, Newman observed the competitors grappling with their spaceships side by side and at high speed until one of them crashed or was pushed, damaging their flying machines. Time passed, and he saw fallen and injured pilots, others with their spaceships broken, and others simply giving up the race out of exhaustion. Moreover, with the new and fearsome secret rule, the weapons were unleashed and a real war at high speed occurred, where pilots often only fled from the shots and opponents. Others set ambushes or used tactics such as blocking and cornering their opponent on a rock. As he continued in the race and always stayed behind, observing the race, while the leaders fought until they destroyed each other in accidents and deadly attacks, Newman approached the last laps of the competition. Newman raced swiftly, hoping that only one opponent would remain for him to defeat, which would be very difficult to happen because he noticed that the first-place pilot was neutralizing the other pilots who couldn't even hit him with deadly weapons. He noticed that the pole position had a force field that covered his entire spaceship. It was energized, and when hit by shots, it protected the machine entirely. At the same time, electrified, it fired strong energy at its opponents, causing them to fall in the desert or causing malfunctions in the competing spaceships. But Newman's main concern was to survive first. He knew that this opponent would try to destroy him. However, he would not do the same. He would try to neutralize him by forcing his spaceship to stop somehow. That's when he thought, a few laps left to finish the race, and only this opponent with a force field remained, in a final tactic to win the Galaxy Runner. In a certain area in the desert, there was a small oasis with water and vegetation. On the final lap of the race, Newman managed to match the spaceship that was in first place, and soon the force field of his opponent automatically connected with a lot of electrical energy. Newman then managed to get ahead of him and took a shallow dive into the waters of this oasis, moving forward with great speed and insight. Seconds later, he noticed that his opponent was no longer within reach. His spaceship, as it pursued him, came into contact with the water, causing it to malfunction. Its circuits ended up melting its engine, forcing his opponent to plunge into the waters. The opponent saw his spaceship explode in front of a wall of rocks. This way, Newman managed to defend himself from the deadly attacks of much more experienced pilots. With this tactic of pure luck and skill, he managed to reach the finish line with his damaged spaceship and win the Galaxy Runner. Newman had then managed to win the competition cleanly, without causing the loss of life of any opponent. The crowd present rose in celebration to applaud him as he received the highest prize for his planet Kepler, which also paid homage to him and established itself as the sovereign planet in the Andromeda Galaxy. Now his greatest dream could be realized, to bring his family from planet Earth and live in peace and harmony for many years, in addition to much comfort in his new home. Newman celebrated with gratitude his award, and his story would always be remembered by all as the overcoming in a deadly Galaxy Runner competition, but winning in a way without sacrificing the greater good, the most precious symbol of hope. Life. Superfixer is a sci-fi short story channel, serving as the catalyst for concepts about technology, science, the universe, and science fiction.